Right, so let's check out the weekly challenge, Survival of the Fittest. You've got no pills, no sanity, and no evidence to work with. It's gonna be a tough one. Oh boy. That does indeed sound a little bit tough. No pills, no sanity, and no evidence. Okay, they said Edgefield, didn't they? Let me check that again. They did indeed say Edgefield. Alright then, well this is gonna be an interesting experience. This might take a few tries. Do we have smudge sticks though? We do. They also gave me pills. I guess they don't restore anything. Yeah, they're 0% sanity pills, very good. This Ghost Hunter sets out. Let me immediately take 4 fucking pills. Alright, Arden. You're missing the advanced punnery, Mambango. You gotta understand that this is a DK post. So clearly there is some advanced punnery in cryo relating to the Spanish language, because DK speak no Spaniardo. Anyway, so how are we doing this if we have 0 sanity and we need to figure out what ghost we're dealing with? Let's grab a crucifix so it can't start a hunt right on top of us. Who knows how much grace period we have. We don't know anything about hiding spots either, so where on this map would be a reasonable place to start out? The chances to find a hiding spot are best upstairs, I reckon, because there's multiple lockers in, like, the hallways and one of the rooms, or 2 of the rooms even. So I guess we try to not die immediately, and then if we do get hunted and the ghost does actually arrive, we try to make our way upstairs. I think what I'll do is I'll toss the crucifix into the entrance. So in case shit goes bad, we will not die immediately. And then we'll grab a torch so we can actually see where we're going and what we're doing. So if the ghost is nearby, it'll eat the crucifix immediately instead of killing us, so that's a good start. Power on, power on. Oh, nice. Okay, so it's not all bad. Wonder if we have cursed possessions somewhere. We didn't get hunted immediately, that's unusual for 0 sanity. Could be a shade hanging out in the hallway here, although then it would hunt basically the moment we leave the hallway. Hear a bunch of rumbling upstairs. I think it's upstairs. Normal footsteps. Hello, baby. By the power of sheer coincidence, it has chosen exactly the same path that I also have to travel. Hiding spot? Oh wow, we got lucky, there's a hiding spot here. Okay, we almost died. Strong start, Mr. Baby. Very strong. Okay, let's quickly see if we can find its room up here. Where are you coming from? Because I tossed around a bunch of items starting off the game, so we should not have too much trouble finding where it is. I did hear a bunch of ruckus while I was downstairs. Seems like all the hiding spots are open, or at least all the ones that I've checked so far. So that's pretty good. I probably don't need to be that anal about turning off the light every time. Let's see. Sorry, not looking at chat for a moment. Trying to use my 90 seconds of not immediate death that we have. Yeah, seems like most of the hiding spots are actually available. That is nice. Okay, so you are over there somewhere, maybe just in the hallway. Okay, I definitely need new smudge sticks. Yeah, that's the issue with that manner of trolling. There's enough dumb idiots out there that would actually genuinely say something like that. Okay, so here it is. Let me turn that off. So I can try thinking again. We could just hang out here. Oh. It's a pretty long grace period. I don't agree, because if you think the man is serious, then you don't see the pun, because the pun is already like very stupid to begin with. I think you can only see the pun if you actively look for a pun, if that makes sense. Okay, so hunt over. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we have a monkey paw. Neat. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Demon could hunt now. Has not hunted immediately. Oh, hi. Okay, it did not hunt immediately until then this time. I guess I don't get to hang out here and ponder things for a moment. I do need to loop it at some point to see if the model changes. Take the bone. I need to bring in a motion sensor and that sort of shit just so I can see whether the ghost does coincidentally roam to me. I also want an EMF for exactly that purpose. We can bring a paramic to hear for or check for any special noises. So are you a yokai? Let's find out. Definitely not a yokai. That looked like pretty normal flickering to me. Okay, let's go outside and grab some items. Actually, I don't have that much time. I need to hurry. I want to bring this one, and this one. I think you could have, in theory, a yokai from Yoka, so maybe. I want this over here, I want this over here. We're gonna be hanging out in this corner again in a second. Is there anything I need to bring up to the ghost room while I have some time? Let's grab another smudge stick and lighter. And what do I need to bring up there? Maybe a camera so we can see ghost orbs. I'll check for ghost orbs. Alright, so we'll place this here so we can find it again later. Thought the hunt just started as I left. NVM. Let's grab this as well, place it on our little stash, and we grab... what else could be important to check for? Yeah, let's just grab another motion sensor to figure out where the ghost exactly hangs out. Let's place you here for now. So I think it lives over... It lives. So it stays the same speed from what I can tell. Has not changed its model the entire time. Does not feel like a Raiju in terms of how far away items start to flicker. Okay, so hunt over, let's see. Want to turn the light back on. Let me stash my items here so I can find them again when I need them. Let's grab the second crucifix. Put this in here. maybe try to cover as much of this area as I can. Alright, let's quickly check for ghost orbs, because that would make this a lot easier. It's either in the bathroom or it's in this side room, I reckon. Oops, I don't know why I'm turning on the light if I'm trying to check for ghost orbs. Can I place this on here without it falling? I can, that's actually insane. Okay, I'm a little bit worried about the next hunt starting, so let's go back down to our looping place. And give it a listen. Gluten talk, yeah. Not sure if you put that out in there intentionally. That's pretty good though. Here we go again. That's weird. We placed 2 crucifixes, it seems to not have burned any of them. Definitely not a demon. It's not done much roaming either. Well, we had a bit of a showdown a second ago, so those can arrive together sometimes. Okay, hunt over. Turn the lights back on so we can actually see. Okay, maybe you are actually in this room? Let's do something like this instead, maybe? That also means that my camera is not in a great spot. Let's have a look in here. I don't know why I'm checking for ghost orbs. It's already very, 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 very unlikely to be a mimic, but may as well. Let's do something like this. Have you in here. Ooh. This crucifix trigger, but not the one in here. That is interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, let's get back to listening and actually ponder the situation for a moment. So, what do we have? We do not have a Thay, a Dio, a Moroi. Not Mimic. Likely not twins. We can use candles to check for an Onryo in a bit. Not this, because you'd be faster while chasing. Not this from the movement. Definitely not a Revenant. Not a demon, most likely, because of the crucifix interaction earlier. Doesn't sound like a Myling to me. I need to actually stop wasting my time. I need to go and place some candles up there. This is the one moment where I have some safety because of the crucifixes. I could also just burn a smudge stick, but I don't want to preemptively do that. But yeah, I need to put some candles down here. If they use the candles and no hunt starts, then it's an Onryo. Okay, I can check for Onryo by using candles basically. And I can only do that while I have both a crucifix as well as the candles available. I'll just place both of them here for now, so that I can tell whether they actually activate or not. Blew out one candle. Oh. I stick with my assumption that it's not a demon. I'm sure a demon would have gotten cock-blocked by those crucifixes plenty of times before. We're getting pretty lucky with it not wandering into the living room much. Right. I can't quite figure out where exactly the ghost is hanging out. It came from here this time. So maybe you do actually live in this room? Let's do something like this. Go back and grab a another candle. Because I always want at least 2 per crucifix if we're checking for Onryo. I think this is the only thing we really need the crucifixes for, so if I focus on doing this right now, we're probably in a good spot. Once the crucifixes have been used up, we'll have to do basically all sorts of other bullshit to figure out what the ghost is. I do like that you can use a candle to light another candle. Okay, what else can we say? We can take a picture to check for Phantom. We can check for Wraith with Salt. It's probably not a spirit, it hunted a bit soon after the... So you are in this hallway, at least that's where the ghost event started. Interesting. Turned off both candles in here, no hunt yet, so not an unreal. What else can we say? I think a Hunter would be a little bit slower, so I might be able to exclude that from the list as well, although I'm not sure. So with zero evidence, there's gonna be some ghosts that we either can't identify or will have trouble identifying. It's not a yokai because it found me using my flashlight without any trouble. I don't think I turned on this light, right? So let's assume that I didn't and that it's not a mare. While I'm waiting here, I should make an item pile for a possible mare to interact with. The water running the entire time is irritating me. First Earth event, or airball event, so not an Oni. Made. I'm already on 0 sanity, you don't need to do that to me. Oh, yep, definitely not an Unreal. Use the crucifix without actually starting a hunt. Or without blowing out the candles. Let me go in here and turn this water off. Thank you. Because that is irritating as fuck. Right, continue to make an item pile if we can. Anything usable here? Not a lot to interact with here for the ghost. Actually, there's so much stuff to interact with in this room. If this is your room, and you're a poltergeist, you're the weirdest poltergeist I've ever seen. Stop turning off my light, I need that to see. Well, oh my god, the ball moved on its own accord. It's haunted. Let me grab the monkey paw. Let's bring it outside, look at this animation. It's delicious. Let's toss this here for later. I have tried being nice, but they usually just try to kill me instead. I don't know. Ghosts don't seem very fond of just hanging out. Are you reading, whatchamacallit patch notes again? Caves of Code. Because those sound more like, Caves of Code patch notes than most other things I've ever seen. Okay, Hunter started. Go back into our naughty corner. Of course, code. Weird that the light is off, but in reality it's on. Probably a little bug with the flickering. Right, so let's quickly grab some stuff. I need another motion sensor, we need some salt, so we can check for not on Wraith is the word. Wraith is the word. So we'll place a bit of salt in. Ooh. That is very quick, was that? Sub 20 minutes, 20 seconds. That must have been exactly 25 seconds or something close to that. Might be reasonable for no evidence stuff to have a stopwatch next to me so I can actually time how long things take. because that might make a difference in the long run. So, honestly, how dare you? Mate, for the love of all that is fucky. You just make triple sure this is placed roughly correctly. Grab this, I need to go back down and get my smudge stick in case we get into trouble. Okay, it did trigger assault, so it's not a wraith. Okay, well, let's hang out in here, and if you can still start a hunt, then you are not a shade. I'm gonna call that you're not a poltergeist, with the way you haven't done anything to these lovely items. Can kinda check for Mare doing this every now and then. I don't see why this couldn't be the location for a bachelor party. Would be a very, like, confined party, a bit limited on how many people you could get in here. This shoe is doing some interesting physics shit. I call poltergeist after all. Okay, I'm hoping that we get to take a picture of the ghost during an event that would immediately tell us if it's a phantom or not. Those two might not be as related as you think they are. Oh no. Oh, that didn't go nearly as bad as I was expecting. I said poltergeist aplenty, although not with that pun setup, so maybe that makes it a lot worse. We're not being hunted while we're in the same room as it. It might be a shade. You are still roughly here. Well, no one at least because we have a motion sensor here, but so far it seems to be in this very room with me. And it's not hunting, I think you're a shade. No ghost events either. Okay, let's spend another like minute or so sitting here, and if it still doesn't hunt, then it is pretty much a shade, guaranteed. At 0% sanity, and with the frequency it has been hunting before, there's absolutely no way it wouldn't try to kill me immediately. So this is looking very shade. Which is funny, because I usually don't get shades very often, and now we get shades while... or get a shade, rather, while we're on some sort of murder mission of doom. So I haven't been explaining my thought process here very much, because I've been very busy trying to set everything up. While we wait, let's go talk about things. So, I think it's not a spirit because if you smudge stick a spirit, it can't hunt for 3 minutes, and it hunted sooner than 3 minutes earlier, so I think... at least it was sooner than 3 minutes, so it's not a spirit. It's not a wraith because it activated salt. Wraith will float over salt, so it can never activate salt, basically. I'm saying it's not a djinn, because a djinn would approach you very quickly. It kind of charges at you when it spots you, and it didn't do that on our first hunt. I'm saying it's not a mare because it... wait, why did I say it's not a mare? Oh, because it turned on a light switch somewhere, right? In that room or something. And mares love the darkness, they would never turn on a light themselves, so that's not a thing. Revenant, oh, it's leaving the room, this might be danger time. Oh, it might be coming back in. But yeah, this is the most shade I've ever seen. Hehe. Very good. Anyway, so it's not a demon because a demon has lower hunt cooldown, so it would hunt every 20 seconds instead of every 25 seconds while you're at 0 sanity. Note, the ghosts don't have to hunt that quickly, but they would like to. Like, especially a demon is very aggressive, it would not... Like, when we first entered the building, I think a demon would have pretty much immediately just started trying to kill us. Now, their personalities are slightly randomized, so it doesn't have to be. It could be a fairly chill demon, comparatively, and then we're just kind of, you know, out of luck when it comes to that. But I'm assuming it's not a demon based off of that. It's not an Oni because one of the ghost events I did was the weird airball event, where a little airball chases you and goes in your ear. That is something the Oni cannot do for some reason, so when you get that event you can immediately rule out the Oni, which is nice. I'm saying it's not a yokai because the yokai has trouble hearing or noticing your electronic equipment, and while we were hiding in that room, I turned on my flashlight to lure the ghost over, and the ghost had absolutely no trouble of finding us, even around the corner, even when we were hiding behind the shelf. It beelined straight for us once we were in range of the like flashlight being noticed by the ghost, and it had no trouble finding us at all, so it's not a yokai. It's not a Hantu, because a Hantu would be slower. The house is pretty warm, I assume, because the breaker has been on the entire time. And the Hantu is fast when it's cold, and it's slow when it's warm. And it is warm everywhere, aside from this very room, most likely. And so it would be fast at the start, and then would slow down a lot. It doesn't do that, so it's not a Hantu. It's not a Myling, because we can hear the footsteps just fine. The Myling is a little bit stealthy, so during a hunt you won't hear the footsteps from quite as far away. It's a little bit difficult to tell that in some of these smaller maps, but generally speaking, we probably would have noticed. It's not an Onryo because Onryos are intimidated by candles. If an Onryo wants to start a hunt and there's a lit candle nearby, it has to blow out the candle instead. It kind of acts like a crucifix. Also, if the Onryo blows out 3 or more candles, it will start a hunt guaranteed. On the 3rd candle, it'll be forced to start a hunt right away. Oh. It left the room and it immediately had hunted again. You are very much a shade. So the good thing is, even if the ghost wanders in here and kills me now, we will get the identification correct, and that's all you need for the weekly challenge, so we don't even have to survive. Which is very fine. Alright, so, let's go outside. And I'll quickly finish going over the list of things that we have here. We stopped with the Onryo. So the Onryo would be stopped by candles, basically. If I have a crucifix on the ground as well as 2 candles and a hunt would start, the Onryo will have to blow out the candles first, so it cannot burn the crucifix before it will extinguish the candles, pretty much. The twins have different movement speed, so if it hunts as its regular self, it'll be at 90 or 95% movement speed, whereas the fake version of itself will have 105 or 110% movement speed. I don't quite remember the numbers. So it will be slightly faster or slightly slower, and over the course of multiple hunts you'll notice the difference. And also, if you're pretty well trained when it comes to listening to ghosts, you will hear that it's either very slightly faster or very slightly slower than normal. Rages speed up around active electronic equipment, so it would have been much faster while I was running around, since we had some stuff in the room with the camera and the EMF and all that sort of shit. It didn't do that, so it's not a Raiju. It's not a Mimic because Mimics have ghost orbs. Even if you're on 0 points of evidence, you will always have ghost orbs in the room where the ghost is hanging out. A Moroi would be faster since it scales with your sanity. At 0% sanity, the Moroi would be very fast, which would be immediately noticeable. The Deogen would immediately find you and approach you very quickly and then slow down massively. That would have been super obvious, so we would have immediately noticed that as well. And a Thay ages as you spend time near it. At the start of the game it would be very fast, and then it would slow down as you spend more time near it. So it also would be really fast in these very early hunts, and it didn't do that. So it's none of those ghosts. Those we can pretty safely exclude. These other ones are a little bit harder. I can exclude the Poltergeist because the Poltergeist has an ability where it interacts with all the items in an area at once. So if you make a little item pile, it would eventually go kaboom and spread them across the entire room. It didn't do that the entire time, and it was in a room with plenty of items, so it's probably not that. Agorio doesn't wander as much. That doesn't really mean much for us, so we can't really exclude it reliably. Obake changes shape while it's hunting every now and then. Not super frequently, but frequently enough that over the course of multiple hunts you'd be able to tell. It didn't do that, it just always was a little baby ghost running after us, so it's not an Obake. Banshee, we could sit here for 18 hours with a paramic and listen for the Banshee scream. And if you're lucky, you eventually get a Banshee scream, and then you'll be like, oh cool, a Banshee. And if you don't get that, then, well, it could still be a Banshee that just chooses not to scream for you, so good luck. Phantom, if we take a picture of the ghost, it will not have any distortion on it, and if it's a ghost event, it'll also disappear immediately. So you'd have a picture that says ghost on it, according to the game, like you get a photo, like 3-star ghost photo, even though there's no ghost on it, which is also pretty obvious. We didn't do any of that. Instead, we have the Shade. The Shade is a shy ghost, meaning it doesn't do much while you're in the room with it, and that is exactly what happened. We had the ghost do a lot of shit, especially hunting, while we were pretty far away from it. And then once we hopped into its ghost room with some crucifixes and a smudge stick in hand, we just get to squat there for a bit, and the ghost didn't hunt at all, and it didn't do any ghost events, it didn't even toss any items, so the only way the ghost could start hunting again was by leaving the room, and it didn't do that, so get fucked, Mr. Shade. Called out for being a Shade. And there we go, that's our list of ghosts for this day. Watch this be something else that just shows not to hunt for like 2 minutes straight. Nope, it was a Shade, very good.
I've got some jobs ready for you.
Very good. Hey, we managed the daily of reaching 0 sanity, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Right, well, here we go again. Let's see what we have this time. So we'll do the same thing. I wanna toss a crucifix in the entryway just to see if it'll activate immediately. I think I'll also toss an EMF right next to it, just for fun. Because if it is a Wraith, it could teleport to us, and then it would give us EMF. I don't see people doing that for the 24 times challenge for some reason, I don't know why. I think they should. I think it's a pretty easy way of getting some safety at the start of it. But for some reason people don't do that. I think that's a good idea, so I do it. We technically don't need the torch, but it is nice to have. Oh, I burned the smudge stick accidentally, whoops. There goes one of our 4 safety resources. I keep doing that today where I think I'm on a different item, then I press right mouse button and whoops, there goes something that I wanted to have long term. Oh well. So we'll hang out down here first, because this room is pretty big and open, and it'll allow us to get a look at the ghost while it's possibly chasing us. You once again didn't hunt right away. It interacted with the door, I think upstairs, if I heard that correctly. Don't really have anything to do until you start hunting. Oh, you turned off the breaker. Interesting. So you are not a djinn. So are all hiding places available? Because it seems like we've not run into a single blocked hiding place yet. Which is pretty nice. Means that pretty much no matter where we go, we'll always be fine. In terms of having somewhere to hide. I guess I'll keep the light on in case we need to flee down here into one of the lockers. This is the slowest first chase I've ever had, I think, on 0 sanity. Oops. I'm just trying to open these hiding spots so that if I do have to hide in one in a panic, I can just run in there and no need to fumble with moving items around first. Sounds like normal speed. Yeah, I feel like in version 2, the pretty much everything really tends to be a little bit more scary. Like the Cyclops has been slightly tilted for me, the Seamoth likes to tilt slightly, that sort of shit. This keeps happening all the fucking time, in a way. Okay, so let's do the same thing we did last time. So you are assing around up here somewhere, you might be a hallway ghost. Which could be... That's an event. It killed the light immediately, hot damn. That's not very nice. Well, we do more hiding. Didn't even get to leave the room. Or the house. Oh no. I tend to just not fuck around much with floaters. I feel like they're a fun little idea, but they just kind of lead to every single ass situation in the world. Where light switch? Here, light switch. Right, let's actually manage to leave the building this time, that'd be fun. I'm in the kitchen, that's not where you leave the building. Okay, let's go upstairs and bring a crucifix, a camera to check for dots. Do I want to bring a crucifix actually? I should reconsider that for a moment. We might want to set up the other things first. Kinda like last time. Let's bring another smudge stick to add it onto the pile. Pop you down here for now. These will all turn off in a second anyway. Yeah, that was a good idea. But they seem like kind of a weird little feature, possibly just not really intended to function, just kind of a neat thing in the world rather than something for you to use. Which is a bit ass, because on paper they have a lot of fun little applications like that. Isn't there a light here normally? Maybe not. So this light got broken by Dildo's ghost. Let's see, do we have ghost orbs? We probably don't, but may as well check. Pretty confident you're a hallway ghost. I placed that as poorly as physically possible. Jesus Christ, you hunt quickly. Was that less than 25 seconds? It feels really fast. Let's see. Let me pull up my phone and pop open a stopwatch if I can. Okay, so it is definitely completely normal speed so far, the entire time. Oh, I wasn't allowed to press that for a second. Where camera? Oh, I tossed it on the stairs. I'll leave the camera here anyway, we might use that in a bit. Did start hunting again pretty much right away, but that was more than 25 seconds. I guess time just flies if you're desperately trying to ferry over some items to where they need to be. It almost chose to come in here for a moment. It's kind of fun to have the blueprints all be in different places in Subnautica every time you play it, but it also kind of leads to those situations where there's just something you really want or need, and you just coincidentally aren't getting it, like, not even at your own fault, not because you're, like, bad at searching shit, but simply by virtue of you're just unlucky, have fun, which is always a little bit awkward. Let's do the same sort of setup again, I kind of like that. Well, like I said, the drill arm was the last blueprint that I found, which was a little bit ass, given how asshole it can be. Hello there. That is normal flickering, you're also speeding up like a normal ghost. think hunt should be over-ish, yeah. I keep going into the kitchen when I'm moving around in the darkness here. Is that a ghost singing event? I thought I heard something. Let's put you back down here. Okay, so let's use the smudge stick to set up a little bit of stuff for a moment. I want 2 candles and a crucifix. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't seem like the sort of house that's intended to be fucked around with much. So if it's a demon, it can almost hunt again, which is a little bit scary. But I'm sure we'll manage. Oh, I need to also grab this. This light also broke when it did the event earlier, that's so rude. That was quick, you're not a... That was actually very quick. Oh, I tossed my lighter, this is bad. We might die here. You might be a demon. At the very least, you're not a spirit. Okay, I like that I'm clutching my smudge stick as though my life depended on it. Even though I can't actually use it. Let's grab one of these, as well as... What else do I need? Let's grab the thermometer to make sure we actually find the exact room that it's hanging out in. Oh, you turned off the power. That's not very nice of you. Especially since maneuvering this basement in the dark is kind of a pain. Oh, we got there. You're not a hallway ghost, at least not right now. Definitely in one of the side rooms. It's also definitely not a mimic because it's been having the exact same ghost speed the entire time. Why do you have to come here, sir? Just leave me alone, pal. It's not that hard. Okay, I was fiddling with my phone there, trying to get a timer going. Let's see. So we should have another, like, 1.5 minutes to do things. You're definitely not an Unreal. Although, I can't really definitely say that, can I? Where's this light? Here's this light. Okay, that'll help us find out if you are an Unreal. You might be in this room. Bit of time pressure, never hurt anyone. I lost my lighter. I somehow accomplished this, I don't know why or how. There it is. We should be roughly at the point where you can hunt again. Is this your room? This is your room, okay. Let me grab my camera. My last smudge stick. And let's hang out in here for a sec. Quickly set up this room so we can hide in here if we need to. Okay, good. Turned off the breaker again. It's a bit ass. Why would you do that? Okay, this time it didn't do anything weird with early hunts. Should be roughly 2 minutes since the last smudge stick, and we can already exclude the spirit from the list. Hello there, door. May as well. Doesn't really do anything. I mean, we do get money and XP from this. Wait, really? We were just having a moment in here. Wait. There you are. Okay, that is not a phantom, confirmed. Okay, let's see. Can rule out these again because of their movement in hunt. Burned the thing before the other things, so not this. I'm very England. I need to check salt. Oh, I have salt upstairs. I'm stupid. I already brought some in. I forgot. I kinda wanna turn the light back on, but fuck it. Oh, it's not a wraith. Pizza. Alright, we excluded spirit based off the quicker response time earlier. It's not a Hantu based off of the movement up here. To be fair, it might be fast at the start, we can't really tell easily. I don't know if that was a ghost ball, air ball ghost event. It's definitely not a shade because it's trying to kill me while in this room. That was quite the throw, wasn't it? Where the fuck did that even land? No, okay, it sounded more like a big throw than it actually ended up being. There goes the crucifix again. Anything else I can do? Probably not. You're very active while I'm here. Okay, let's go downstairs and turn the power back on, and then we might go back into the room later with the other crucifix and see if we can set something up. I wonder if they should make it so that the ghost can notice certain events happening. Like notice you turning on the power, for example, during a hunt, and then set a waypoint on there. Or like using doors too quickly or something. Maybe not the greatest idea. It is normal movement speed though, isn't it? It's kind of reconsidering that if it's a little bit faster this time, but I think it's normal. It's just hard to tell sometimes. Okay, so let's go get ourselves a crucifix. One thing I would really like for this kind of challenge, especially since you don't need to survive to figure out the ghost, is if you could, like after you died, stay in the lobby for a moment to think about what happened and why it happened and maybe make some last second adjustments. Oh, too late. So I'm pretty sure it's not a demon because the crucifixes would have cooked it earlier. Oh, that's also why we excluded it the other time. I haven't checked for yokai yet. I'm gonna say it's not a Myling because I have no issues hearing the footsteps. It's not a Raiju, would be faster. Hasn't changed shape once, and we've seen it quite a few times. Let's finish moving the crucifix over. I dropped it around here somewhere. Here. Did you turn off the power again? You piece of shit. Hello? It's not the twins, I think we would have noticed that by now. It's not a phantom because of the picture we took. I'm gonna say it's not a poltergeist. It's using a lot of items, but it hasn't done the item throw explosion thing. It's not a shade, we can definitely say that one. I guess we'll have to test for yokai, and then maybe watch it during the hunt to see if it's an Oni. And I think at that point we're pretty much out. I guess we can check with Paramag as well. It might be an Oni, it hasn't done any airball events. Can I please grab all the things, make a bigger pile? That was a pretty strong throw, wasn't it? But it would be behaving so weird for a... It's another reasonably sized throw. There's no way a poltergeist wouldn't use this entire pile, though. Say you're just using individual items the entire time. Right? Like... Yeah. Even my movement is getting weird on my keyboard is in worse state than I appreciate. There's of course one thing we could do. Once we're done with all the other experimentation. Where was it? Was it in here? I think it was in here. Oh right, power is off again. We have the monkey paw. So we could use the monkey paw. And wish for some knowledge, because knowledge is power. I think it just stepped in some salt upstairs. Silly bugger. Okay, let's try to pay attention to it during the chase and figure out if it looks like an Oni. No, we asked for knowledge, not power. It's not quite the same. I guess what I'll do in the meanwhile... Just make more item piles. Have it interact with every item in the game while it's chasing us. Oh, hunt. Yeah, you're definitely not a yokai. Please don't find me. Thank you. That's another one off the list. Turned off the power again. Well, I wish for knowledge. I wish to leave. Oh, never mind, the ghost was right here. It's not that, so it's either one of these three. We can't tell anything about these three. Yeah, I just have to guess with these. Oh fuck. Let's just hope we get it correct. Hey, we got lucky. So for me it was mostly between Uri and Mare, because neither of them have abilities that we can easily check for. I should have maybe guessed Mare, we got really lucky there. Because it did break 3 light switches. So that is usually what Mares like to do, they fuck lights pretty much. But yeah, we got lucky, I guessed Uri and we got it correct. So if you use a smudge stick near a ghost, it will get blinded. Like the smoke makes it go like, oh fuck, for 6 seconds. It literally can't kill you. You can walk through it just fine. It will randomly wander during that time though, so if you get unlucky and the ghost decides to wander in the same direction that you're trying to flee, it will be basically right back on your ass the entire time. So ideally you want to do that near a hiding spot, or you want to be inside of a hiding spot within those 6 seconds. So that's why I could go through it before. The reason we have to guess right now is... the reason we have to guess right now is that this is the, like, dumb weekly challenge. You're supposed to get evidence and figure out the ghost using deductive reasoning and evidence that the game gives you. This challenge gives you no evidence, and the game isn't quite at the spot yet where you can figure out some of, or literally all of the ghosts without any sort of evidence. We could have, if we spent some more time, we could have ruled out one of the 3 that were remaining. To be fair, we got to use a cursed possession to reduce the number down to 3. It would have been 4 or 5 without that. But yeah, this is literally the mode where you don't get any evidence, and it's basically the as closest to get as you can by guessing. So I don't know. I mean, well, the goal of the game is to figure out what the target is. Saying like, oh, it's one of these 3. It's like, well, you know. You do still get partial completion, like look for all of these other things, like getting the side objectives done, taking pictures, like you can find the bone, take a picture of that sort of shit. You can do like other things. You do get money for your other stuff, but you do lose all the items that you bring in, so that's the downside here. Regardless, we're doing the weekly challenge, which gives us a preset amount of items to begin with, so we can't actually lose anything here. Again, this is like, it's called challenge mode, and this week's challenge is actually like intentionally really ass. Like, you shouldn't be playing this if you're not expecting to die or expecting to have to guess a little bit here and there. To be fair, sometimes, like, assuming just for, like, assuming this was in some way real, you might even... Oh yeah, I usually have the book open, don't I? You get grabbed by the ghost, like hands appear on the side of your face and like they push your eyes in, then you appear in a deaf room, you get to see the ghost like stand around menacingly, and then the light switch pops, or the light bulb pops, and then it's just game over and you arrive again in the normal map, just in the ghost version of the map. But yeah, we're setting this up so that afterwards a cleaning team can come in and actually sort this out. If we, for the sake of argument, assume that every single ghost has hyper-specific ways of dealing with them, then saying, hey, it's one of these 3 isn't that helpful. Because you'd still have to bring like 3 different sets of like rituals or whatever they have to do to cleanse it. I know what you mean, and yeah, sure, you can always argue with that sort of shit. That is a little bit silly, but I don't know. I think since it's like just a game, as they say, I don't think it's that bad. Oh, sorry, Kojak. Welcome in. But yeah, I think, especially watching these last couple games, we didn't, like, neither of those 2 games we had ghosts that are super easy to identify. Some of these are very obvious, like, you can pretty much immediately narrow the list down to, like, 1 or 2. Some of them are so obvious that you immediately find out which one it is, and neither of those last 2 games had any of those, and yet we still managed to whittle down this list to like 5 or 6 ghosts remaining without any evidence given, which is usually how you're supposed to figure out the ghost. So I think that more indicates that the game is actually in a pretty healthy state when it comes to trying to figure out the ghost via its behavior and its abilities, rather than just going in and mechanically checking every single evidence and just like go in, test for this, oh, it's A, B, and it's C, okay, now we have the ghost. So, I don't know. I mean, it's the sort of topic where I think for any why doesn't this count as partial completion or like similar realism unplayable sort of argument, you can pull enough counter arguments out of your ass. Like, let's say, oh, it's between a Banshee and a Uri, 50-50. Okay, maybe for the Banshee you have to go on a massive trip, like find 5 different pieces of antique footwear to bury it in some fucking pile, and then you light it on fire while you sing some sort of ritual song to soothe the banshee into the afterlife. And then for the Uroi, you have to go to Mount Everest and like toss a voodoo doll off of that thing while setting yourself on fire. And like those are very different ways of dealing with a ghost, right? So, oh, it's between these three, that's a job well done, isn't it? Well, if we just fuck around with the concept enough, we can always come up with random arguments for why this is not good enough to just narrow down the list. But yeah, I completely get the point. And it would be fun to get at least partial completion for, hey, you figured out this. Like, maybe make a system where every single one you manage to successfully cross out. Like, since we're like playing this, okay, this isn't it, this isn't it. Like, maybe they should award you, yeah, you've deduced this correctly, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct, sort of thing. And instead of just saying, oh, you need to get the one correct. So, like, give you partial progress for, oh yeah, you have analyzed this correctly, this correctly, this correctly. But at that point, maybe it's a little bit too mechanical and loses a bit of the immersive factor. I don't fucking know. So, yeah. Shoot it with salt, yeah. That bit would be right. Your body ragdolls weirdly. If there was any slopes, you would probably roll down a hill dramatically. I'm thinking if I want to set up a third item, well, I'm just tossing the first set of items into the building. I guess we'll bring a second crucifix, so we don't have to grab that from the car later. Third item. Fucking turd zombies and turd farmers. Why not third items? Seems to fit right in with gaming. Despite the hull upgrade, because that has almost eliminated that thing entirely for me. Only the slightly bigger fish and the actual collisions do that in for me now. Oh, by the way, once you make your Cyclops, you'll have it rumble as though you're colliding with something almost constantly. I don't know why. I was wondering if it is maybe because I had a vehicle docked inside of it, so maybe the vehicle inside is bumping against the Cyclops, but neither of them actually get damaged. But yeah, I've had plenty of issues where I just move around in my Cyclops and it goes bonk as though I hit something, and then I'm like, oh fuck, and look behind me, like, nope, there's nothing here, the radar isn't indicating anything, nothing has taken any damage. You turned off the power before the first hunt. Are you okay, Ghost? Do you need help? Don't answer that. I hear stuff rumbling upstairs again. Ooh. That corner there somewhere. Oh, very fast Ghost this time. Much slower now. Hantu? I think you're a Hantu. Oh wow, you almost got me. Hello, Hantu. Yeah, so the last two games we had to do a lot of, like, deducing, reasoning, like, figuring out what the fuck we're dealing with, that sort of shit. This one, we get one that has a very specific kind of behavior, and we can immediately identify, oh, it's a Hantu. Now, there is one asterisk, which is why you can never immediately rule out the ghost, even if you vaguely know what it is. And that asterisk is the Mimic. The Mimic copies the behavior of any other ghost, so we could, in theory, have a Mimic posing as a Hantu right now. So, in that case, we have to check for ghost orbs real quick. It came from this corner over here somewhere. Yeah, notice how it's like fast, 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 and then super slow the moment it leaves its room. Also, most ghosts do what Killers in Dead by Daylight do, which is they speed up while they're in chase. After a while, they basically get bloodlust and like move faster. Hantu is one of the few ghosts I don't know how many there are actually that don't do that, but there's a few ghosts that do not have this ability to speed up while in a chase. And so this ghost, you can literally just loop forever around an object like that. Now the room does get colder while he's inside of the room, so it will eventually be fast enough and be able to catch you. But it will take a very long time, and hunts are usually not fast enough. Okay, so you definitely are in this room. And there's absolutely none ghost orbs. Let's check this corner real quick, just in case we're getting bamboozled. But I'm calling it that this is not a mimic. Yeah, okay, there's another hunt. I guess it's called a Hantu for a reason. Look at people jumping in there and getting it done for you. What a nice and welcoming community. Good job, Chad. But yeah, so not only have we had 3 hunts now, and a mimic would have long changed its the ghost it's copying, but we also checked the room for ghost orbs and we didn't find any ghost orbs, so it is definitely a Hantu. So yeah, we had 2 games where we had ghosts that are basically generic in their normal hunt behavior, so we had to actually figure it out. Versus the Hantu in the 3rd game, which has such unique behavior in hunting that we can immediately say, oh, it's a Hantu, nice, and there we go, there's the weekly challenge done. That is alright.